Shades of Death Road is a two-lane road in central Warren County, New Jersey. It runs alongside Jenny Jump State Forest and offers access to it at several points. The road is the subject of folklore and numerous local legends. These rumors have drawn more visitors to the area to the annoyance of the residents, who have gone as far as to smear the actual street sign at the southern end of the road to prevent theft. The road in New Jersey is not the only one with this unusual name. There's another Shades of Death Road that exists in Washington County, Pennsylvania. This road runs along the base of Jenny Jump Ridge and the low-flying flatlands of the Pequest River Valley, about half a mile north of the interstate in Alamucci. It turns to the east and enters those flatlands, continuing all the while to weave back and forth through some sharp turns, until it reaches the northern terminus at Long Bridge Road. On the road's southern half, where the adjoining forest with its aged trees provides much actual shade from the sun on even the brightest days, highwaymen or other bandits would supposedly lay in wait for victims in these shadows, then often cut their throats after taking what they had, or they would engage in fights to the death among themselves over women. It is said the local populace would take revenge against these highwaymen by lynching them and leaving their bodies dangling from low-hanging tree branches as a warning to other criminally inclined. In the 1920s and 1930s, there were 3 brutal murders along the road. One was a robbery in which a man was hit over the head with a tire jack over some gold coins. A second in which a woman beheaded her husband and buried the head and the body on different sides of the street. And lastly, one in which a local resident was shot and buried in a mud pile. It was never solved. The twists and turns of the road have led to suggestion that it has led to an inordinate number of fatal car accidents, and supposedly the reflective guardrails along the road indicate where that has happened. However, the road had earned its name well before automobile use became common in the area. Bear Swamp nearby was known as either Cat Hollow or Cat Swamp because of packs of vicious wildcats that lived there, who frequently and lethally attacked travelers along the road. In 1850, malaria-carrying insects were discovered nesting in a cliff face along the road. They flourished in the nearby wetlands of Bear Swamp, causing annual outbreaks of the disease. The high mortality rates due to the remoteness of the area from effective medical treatment cut a swath through so many families that a street once merely called Shade or Shades Road, due to its tree cover, took on the name Shades of Death out of dark humor. The problem was so widespread that in 1884 a state-sponsored project drained the swamps, ending the threat. Ghost Lake is also located on the road. It was created in the early 20th century when 2 wealthy local men dammed a creek that ran through the narrow valley between houses they just built. They gave it its name from the wraith-like vapor formations they often saw rising off in the cooler mornings. They further named the pass Haunted Hollow. Many visitors have stated that no matter what time of the night they visit the lake at, the sky above it always seems as bright as if it were still twilight, and several have reported ghosts in the area, especially in a deserted old cabin across the lake from the road. Supposedly, victims of the murders once believed to have given the road its name. Another legend is that if you throw a rock or coin across the lake, you won't hear it touch the ground, and then someone or something throws it back to you. To the right of Ghost Lake, there is a small cave known as the Fairy Hole, once used by the Lenape. Though the cave is now easily accessible and also covered in graffiti, archaeologists who surveyed the area in 1918 found pottery shards, flint, and broken arrowheads. From their findings, the archaeologists concluded that the Fairy Hole was not often visited. It may have been used as a simple resting point for traveling or hunting. But with its close proximity to several known burial sites, it is said to be a sacred or religiously important site. This survey was conducted before the creation of Ghost Lake. Lenape Valley is an unpaved, one-lane, dead-end street that runs off Shades of Death Road. It ends at a farmhouse for which it is little more than a driveway. But halfway down there is a space to park or turn around next to a wooden structure described as looking like an abandoned stable. Visitors to this stable site at night have reported extremely local fog surrounding it and seeing apparitions in it, or sometimes even in clear weather. And also claim the air is sometimes unusually chilly, and feeling general unease in the area for no immediate apparent reason. An additional legend claims that sometimes nocturnal visitors to Lenape see an orb of white light appear near the end of the road, which chases vehicles back out to Shades of Death Road. And if it turns red in the process, those who see it will die. This may be due to an old tree near the end of Lenape that was never cut down when the road was built. As a result, the road forks right before the tree, and a big red reflector has been nailed to the tree to warn drivers. Another legend says that if one circles around the tree and drives down the road again at midnight, a red light will shine and the driver will never survive. Back in the 1990s, 2 travelers said they found hundreds of Polaroid photographs, some of them showing the blurred images of a woman possibly in distress, scattered in the woods just off the road. After local police began an investigation, the photos disappeared shortly after. Another legend tells of a bridge where if drivers stop past midnight with their high beams on and honk their horns 3 times, they will see the ghosts of 2 young children who were run over while playing in the road. The legend actually refers to a bridge over the Flat Rock on Old Mine Road, not far from Shades of Death. The bridge is no longer accessible by a car, as a newer, larger bridge has been built next to it. The original bridge can be reached by foot. There are some legends concerning a Native American spirit guide who supposedly takes the shape of a deer and appears at various points along the road at night. If drivers see him and do not slow down sufficiently enough to avoid collision, they will soon get into a serious accident with a deer. Growing up in New Jersey, I've heard the legends of Shades of Death Road, and the one that's not described is one of a young girl waiting for her boyfriend to pick her up to take her to prom. While she was walking down the road and he was going to get her, he accidentally swerved, hit her, and killed her. And the legend is to pick her up and bring her to the end of the road where she vanishes. If you do not pick her up, then you will get into a car accident. Here is my personal story. One summer night, me and my 3 friends decided to take a trip to Shades of Death Road. It's about a 35-minute drive from where I live. We were hoping to get freaked out, or maybe even see the ghost girl waiting for her prom date. So we make it to the road and start driving on it. It was pretty uneventful. We went to Ghost Lake and got out of the car, and I won't lie, at night it was very eerie, but uneventful. The mist that was coming off of Ghost Lake was pretty cool though. The real action didn't happen until we were going to leave. For whatever reason, on our way off the road, I accidentally turned from the main road onto a dirt road surrounded by cornfields. After a few minutes and nowhere to turn around, we came across a small house with farming equipment and a pickup truck. I panicked and quickly turned around, and when I started to drive away, I saw the front door swing open and a man run out. I floored it. My friend in the passenger seat screamed. I just assumed she also saw the guy run out of the house. She kept yelling, "Go, go, go! There's people in the cornfields." We finally get back to the road and I just want to get home. After being chased by a car with one headlight, we finally make it to the end of the road when a loud bang is heard, and my friend in the passenger seat screams again. We pull over and I get out to see my side view mirror is gone. Not hanging off, but gone. No other damage to the car whatsoever. We drive home and I get a better look at it, and around the hole left was fur. Mind you, around the time I had no idea about this Native American spirit guide that disguised itself as a deer. I didn't find that out until a few years ago when I was on Wikipedia looking up the road. Could it have been a real deer? Absolutely. But if it was a real deer, how is it able to take off my mirror and inflict no other damage to the car while I was driving? As always, guys, thank you so much for listening. If you guys have any requests, please feel free to leave them down in the comments. Hit that like and subscribe, and please don't forget, stay scary.